Hello students, today I am going to teach you chapter 3, My Last Refuge, written by Sewell. This is the chapter taken from Discovering Grade 7. I am going to explain the whole chapter in a simple language. I hope you understand well. First of all, take a pencil in your hands. Side by side, I will be guiding you and explaining the word meaning also. You can just underline. Few of them I will be explaining, but some you can look into the dictionary by your own. I'm also playing an audio taken from the internet, so I want you to hear it carefully. There may be some words changed, but it means one and the same. So kindly listen to it very carefully. Here we begin. Kindly open page number 37.
One day during this summer, the groom cleaned and dressed me with such extraordinary care that I thought some new change must be at hand. He trimmed my fetlocks and legs, passed the tar brush over my hoofs, and even parted my forelock. I think the harness had an extra polish.
In this paragraph, you will come to know this is an autobiography of a horse which tells its experiences, how he came across different masters. Some of the masters were good to him, but some were very hard to him. But he also tries to share the incident which really changed his life. That's what is based on the chapter, My Last Refuge, or in other simple words, you can say, My Last Home, where I finally got and really enjoyed my life. This paragraph narrates that the horse tells his story saying that one fine day or one summer day, he was treated very differently. He was made ready. He was given extra care on that day. He was also given polish on his hooves. So in this paragraph, some words are there, like you can go through the words, that is groom. Here the word groom means boy who looks after horses. At the left side of the book, there are also some word meanings. So in this paragraph, you are getting the word that is groom. Few words you can underline like hooves, tar brushed, harness, etc. So I want you to look for the words and check the meaning into the dictionary by your own. Let us proceed further.
Willie seemed half anxious, half merry, as he got into the chaise with his grandfather. "If the ladies take to him," said the old gentleman, "they'll be suited, and he'll be suited. We can but try."
Here you are introduced the first character of the story, that is Willie. He is the grandson of Mr. Thorogood, who is the grandfather. You will come across this name when you go through the story further. Willie and grandfather, both of them have gone to see the horse who is telling its story. And by looking at the horse, grandfather says, if the ladies like him, they will take him, and I will be able to give him a good home where he can be comfortable and happy. Now here grandfather talks about the girls who are at home, and they are supposed to take this horse whom they are looking or trying to take home. They are discussing about the horse, saying that if the girls like him, I will also feel very happy, and this will surely satisfy him. This is what he says. Now turning on to the next page, let us see.
At the distance of a mile or two from the village, we came to a pretty low house with a lawn and shrubbery at the front and a drive up to the door. Willie rang the bell and asked if Miss Blomefield or Miss Ellen was at home.
So as soon as they select the horse whom we are talking about, they walk towards the village. And on the village, while they are walking, they also we also find the scene of the lawn, as some words are introduced like shrubbery and driveway leading to the door. So it was like bushy area where they were going through. And as soon as they reach home, Billy tries to ring the bell and asks for Miss Bloomfield or Miss Ellen. Now here you notice we have got 4 members introduced. One was Willie, second was grandfather, whose name I have already introduced, but we will be getting in further story. The third name is Miss Bloomfield or Miss Ellen.
Home. Yes, they were. So while Willie stayed with me, Mr. Thoroughgood went into the house. In about 10 minutes he returned, followed by 3 ladies. One tall, pale lady, wrapped in a white shawl, leaned on a younger lady with dark eyes and a merry face. The other, a very stately-looking person, was Miss Blomefield. They all came and looked at me and asked questions. The younger lady, that was Miss Ellen, took to me very much. She said she was sure she should like me. I had such a good face.
Now in this paragraph, we'll come to know when they reached home, Mr. Thorogood was escorted. He went inside the home, and while he returned back, there were 3 ladies. So one of them was having a pale face, pale complexion, you can say. So she was also wearing a shawl and was leaning on a young lady, and this young lady's name is introduced here, and the young one is known as Ellen. The third one they are talking about is Miss Bloomfield, who is also described as a stately one, that is quite formal, or you can call it impressive. So the younger one, who is Miss Ellen, she is quite impressed with the horse, and this horse simply feels and shares with us how he felt when he arrived at this new place. Moving towards the next paragraph.
Tall, pale lady said that she should always be nervous in riding behind a horse that had once been down, as I might come down again, and if I did, she should never get over the fright.
Now, as they see the horse, Ellen was quite excited. She was quite happy, and she was so overjoyed to see the horse. But at the other side, Miss Bloomfield, she was nervous because once she tried to sit on the back of the horse, she fell down, and that's why she was scared. If again she falls, and she will never come out of this fear. This is what she wants to say.
You see, ladies, said Mr. Thoroughgood, many first-rate horses have had their knees broken through the carelessness of their drivers, without any fault of their own, and from what I see of this horse, I should say that is his case. But of course, I do not wish to influence you. If you incline, you can have him on trial, and then your coachman will see what he thinks of him.
Now, when the horse comes to their place, and every one of them are having their different views. So Miss Bloomfield, she thinks that she may fall again, therefore she is quite nervous. But Mr. Thorogood says that much depends upon the rider also. Due to their carelessness, sometimes the very strong horses also they get injured if they are not careful while driving, or they don't know how to take care of the horse simply they get hurt. So it is up to them, Mr. Thorogood said. Now you have to decide, take a trial first. If you like it, well and good, or we can think of the other part.
You have always been such a good adviser to us about our horses, said the stately lady, that your recommendation would go a long way with me, and if my sister Lavinia sees no objection, we will accept your offer of a trial with thanks.
Here, the stately woman, that is Miss Bloomfield, she agrees to the point of Mr. Thorogood. Thorogood. She says, you have always given a very good advice regarding the horses. We have no problem at all if you say so. We will surely be taking it for a trial, of course. Now, she also states the same statement saying that if my sister Lavinia does not mind, we would certainly like to try him out. So all the three sisters are introduced here. So first one is, as you can see, Miss Bloomfield. Next is the younger one is Miss Ellen, and the middle one you can say was Lavinia. So I will rotate the picture showing you the three sisters. This one is the stately one, that is Miss Bloomfield, and these two, one of them is Ellen, and the another one is known as Lavinia. So we need to find out who is the younger one. So the younger one is Ellen, and one more sister who has got the name, that is Lavinia.
It was then arranged that I should be sent for the next day. In the morning, a smart-looking young man came for me. At first, he looked pleased, but when he saw my knees, he said in a disappointed voice, "I don't think, sir, you would have recommended my ladies a blemished horse like that."
Now, when the sisters are discussing about the horse with Mr. Thorogood, so the horse goes through another experiences. He also loves to hear their conversation, and he narrates what happened on the next day when a young boy came to see him again. As soon as the young man meets the horse, uh, he says in a complaining way to Thorogood that you haven't chosen a good or healthy horse for the girls, because the horse was injured. It had got hurt on the knees.
"Handsome is that handsome does," said my master. "You are only taking him on trial, and I am sure you will do fairly by him, young man. If he is not as safe as any horse you ever drove, send him back."
Now here, when he listens to the conversation, which was the statement which was said by the lad, Mr. Thorogood says, handsome is what handsome does, but as you can see in your book, it is said, judge both man and horse by his deeds. Means if we try to judge anybody, especially in case of man or a horse, we must always look for the work or the strength of that particular, either the man or the horse we are talking about. So Mr. Thorogood also says that we have brought it for just a trial. First take a trial and then let me know. If it is good, then fine. If it is not, then we can think of the other option.
I was led to my new home, placed in a comfortable stable, fed and left to myself.
Now the horse feels that when they spoke together, Mr. Thorogood and the lad, they together had the thought. Um, the horse shares that he was also taken to a comfortable stable where it was fed and left to himself.
The next day, when the groom was cleaning my face, he said, "That is just like the star that Black Beauty had. He is much the same height, too. I wonder where he is now." A little further on he came to the place in my neck where I was bled and where a little knot was left in the skin. He almost started and began to look me over carefully, talking to himself. White star in the forehead, one white foot on the off side, this little knot just in that place. Then looking at the middle of my back, and as I am alive, there is that little patch of white hair that John used to call Beauty's threepenny bit. It must be Black Beauty. Why, Beauty! Beauty, do you know me? Little Joe Green, that almost killed you. And he began patting and patting me as if he was quite overjoyed.
Now, here you will come to know that the lad, or here the word is used, is groom, the one who was looking after the horse. He is overjoyed. He sees some of the scars on the horse while touching it, and he found the same points or same kind of symptoms, same kind of signs as he once saw to the horse which belonged to him once, that was Black Beauty. And while touching the horse thoroughly, he jumped with the joy, saying that you are the one, the same beauty, that is Black Beauty, upon whom once I rode, and because of my carelessness, once I had almost tried to kill you. So he is quite overjoyed because he recognizes the horse, saying that it is the same horse and we know each other. He also says his name, asking, he talks to the horse, saying that, do you remember me? And here he says that I am Little Jaw Green.
I could not say that I remembered him, for now he was a fine grown young fellow, with black whiskers and a man's voice. But I was sure he knew me, and that he was Joe Green, and I was very glad. I put my nose up to him, and tried to say that we were friends.
Now the feelings of the horse says that he was also trying to recall whether he knew Joe Green, but it was many years back when Joe was very small, very little, when he rode on the back of this horse. He did not remember that much, means to say that horse did not remember that much, because now this time the boy, once um, whom he met might be, now today he is a grown up person who has got whiskers on, black whiskers on his face. So anyway, but still he showed, the horse shows its excitement that he felt like loved, and he also felt like having a good friendship with Mr. Joe.
Never saw a man so pleased. Give you a fair trial? I should think so indeed. I wonder who the rascal was that broke your knees, my old beauty. You must have been badly served out somewhere. Well,
Now, Mr. Joe, he gets so happy to see him having recognized the Black Beauty. He jumps with the joy as he says that's yeah that he yes he found it back, but he is also feels sorry at the same time, and he questions him, who has broken your knees, and I will take a good care of you, as he also says that you are such a treasure.
well, it won't be my fault if you haven't good times of it now. I wish John Manley was here to see you. In the afternoon I was put into a low park chair and brought to the door. Miss Ellen was going to try me, and Green went with her. I soon found that she was a good driver, and she seemed pleased with my paces.
After having spending the time with Mr. Joe, the next day he was kept in a stable again, and the horse remembers the very next day he was taken by Miss Ellen, who was a good rider. It was felt by the horse. The horse feels as though she was a very good rider. And when they went for the riding, Ellen and the horse, Joe accompanied them.
I heard Joe telling her about me, and that he was sure I was Squire Gordon's old black beauty. When we returned, the other sisters came out to hear how I had behaved myself.
Now, here the horse is so happy to hear that Ellen was quite in a joyful mood while riding on the back of the horse. And when they returned back, and she meets her other sisters and happily narrates how disciplined the horse was, and even Mr. Joe, who was along with them, had lots of stories to share with the sisters, can say.
Told them what she had just heard, and said, I shall certainly write to Mrs. Gordon and tell her that her favorite horse has come to us. How pleased she will be.
Now, Miss Ellen also says that she will be surely sharing this thing to Mrs. Square Gordon's lady, and she is going to say that we are so happy to have him back again. And this horse is such a lovely horse, and we are the owner of this lovely horse again.
After this, I was driven every day for a week or so, and as I appeared to be quite safe, Miss Lavinia at last ventured out in the small closed carriage.
Now, this horse also says that I felt like I was in a safe zone. I felt like home and homely environment, and because he was always with this small family who was very caring. So Miss Lavinia also had a kind of attachment towards the horse.
After this, it was quite decided to keep me and call me by my old name of Black Beauty.
Now, when every one of them were giving the horse a warmth and love, and of course what he deserved as a strong horse, so they rechristened the horse name. That is, they also gave him the name which the horse bore once, that is Black Beauty. They started calling him Black Beauty again.
I have now lived in this happy place a whole year. Joe is the best and kindest of grooms.
Now, here the horse shares its experience, saying that I am back to my happy place again, and this is the place which has become his favorite spot, and he will always be very grateful for Joe's kind-heartedness. So he calls him a very kind person.
My work is easy and pleasant, and I feel my strength and spirits all coming back again.
Now he feels like, the horse is already sharing that he feels homely, the homely environment. Now he feels that as though his worth has been being realized by everyone. And he also wants to say that I love my work and I feel purposeful here. And in the last lines of your lessons, you will get that as the horse is overjoyed and wants to say us, saying, I can feel my strength and enthusiasm for life slowly coming back. So, whatever he had lost in his previous bad days, so that strength is he is able to regain, and now he feels very happy.
Mr. Thoroughgood said to Joe the other day, In your place, He will last till he is 20 years old, perhaps more. Willie always speaks to me when he can, and treats me as his special friend. My ladies have promised that I shall never be sold, and so I have nothing to fear. And here my story ends.
As you see how a horse feels, he loves the company of Willie. He also feels the lovable nature of Mr. Thorogood, who is really a very caring person, very understanding person, due to whose wise decision, the horse really could come back to life again. And the three sisters who always tried to ride him with a with much care, with the love. They also promise him that we will never sell this horse anymore in future. So these lovely environment and such kind of promises makes the horse very, very loving and caring, who wants to stay there forever. And this is the place he describes in the story, as you can see, the my last refuge. So he calls it as a home, the environment where he loves to stay forever with this lovely family. And the last line in your book is, Mr. Thorogood is pleased that he made a wise decision. He also says on behalf of Mr. Thorogood that he says he has really made a good decision, and due to this good decision I am able to regain my new life. I hope you understood the lesson. In my simple English, I have tried my level best to explain, making you hear side by side the audio clip. There some words are different, but still I have made my efforts to simplify the chapter. Thank you.